Hi, and thank you again for joining me on my channel. I've got a lot of work today to do on one of my niche websites, and it's all around Pinterest. I've got one account in particular that's really seen some healthy organic traffic coming from Pinterest over onto the website, and it's heavily driven through a new board and heavily driven through a new VA that I've got that actually runs the account. So I've tried setting up Pinterest myself and had some success, but nowhere near as much success as this lady has. Her particular website gets around 200,000 organic searches a month from Pinterest over to her website, and it's working really well for her. So I reached out and said, would you take a look at mine and see if you can do something with my account? So she amazingly agreed. I do pay her a fee. She charged me $100 to set the actual Pinterest account up, and now she charges me £75 a month to manage the account. So for that, she schedules pins, she makes some new pins, and she's SEO optimized the titles and the boards to how Pinterest likes it, which then drives the organic search traffic through Pinterest, where people can then click on the pins and head over to the website, which is the ultimate goal of using a Pinterest account. And it's working really, really well. So at the moment, we're seeing around 3,000 organic traffic a month go through to the website, and that's within about a 3-week period. And it's rapidly rising. And the impressions you'll see when we head over to the Pinterest account are huge. I mean, it's 400,000 impressions at the moment per month within Pinterest. So it's rapidly rising. It's doing really, really well. And I just thought, if I'm going to do some work on it today, I always like to bring you guys along. Why don't you come over to Pinterest with me and we'll take a look at one of my boards, and I'll show you some of the pins that do really, really well and some pins that are not, and what we've changed and what we've done to the account to make it work so well. So guys, if this is something you're interested in the future, I could bring you more videos on Pinterest. It is something I'm going to be heavily involved with over the next couple of months. So over that period of time, if you'd like me to record some of my processes and some of the things we do to grow this account, I'm happy to do that, and maybe you can follow the progress of it and see how far we get and see how much traffic we can get from it. If you'd like me to do that, please leave a comment in the description below. Let me know if you're using Pinterest or if you've had any success yourself, and see if we can grow our Pinterest account together, and then hopefully drive loads of organic traffic over to our websites. So guys, let's head over to the computer now and we'll take a closer look at my Pinterest boards. Okay, so here we are over at my Pinterest account. This is the one I have set up for Hutch and Cage, a small pet niche website. And as you can see here from the top, it has currently 231,000 monthly unique views. So what that is, it sounds amazing. Wow, 231,000 views. Basically, it means these pins have been seen by 231,000 people. Doesn't necessarily mean they've clicked it. A lot of people will be shouting, oh, I get 231,000 views. If that was on your website, bravo, fantastic. But unfortunately, on a Pinterest account, doesn't mean a lot. It's click-throughs towards your website that you're concerned about. But if we take a look at the overall view, you can see a lot. These are the pins. Now, these are made up of pins that I have created and also pins that are on my group boards, which I will go into a later video if you guys are interested in that, setting up group boards or how to get group boards and what the benefit of that is. But as you can see here, so these are our pins, and then we have our boards. If we click over to the boards, you'll see here I've got 44 boards set up on the account. These are all different boards ranging from, guinea pig care guides, right over to, I think we've got funny animal pictures, various, anything to do with small pets. And then as you can see down at the bottom, these are the group boards. So it's they'll be labeled group board. So group board, there you can see. These are the ones that you want to join. So these are the groups that have a lot of pins and a lot of followers. So we might not necessarily have a lot of followers. I think this account has only got about a couple of hundred followers. Followers are not really too important on Pinterest account. That the number of followers does not determine the amount of views you get. So I would rather go with number of pins. So as you can see, this account here, this group board for, I think it's Favorite Pets, has 55,000 pins. So that means it's a huge board. And you can see another one here with nearly 11,000 pins. And this one is the biggest one, Our Pets, has 695,000 pins. And if we click into this, you can see this one has a lot of followers. This has nearly 51,000 followers, and you can see they've not got very many group boards, but they have, you know, over 500,000 pins. So this is a big group to get into, and it's the kind of group that you would want to share your pins on, so your pins get more exposure. So you can see here I have a total of 1,251 pins. Now the ratio is made up from around, it's about 80-20%, so 80% of these pins are mine, 20% of the pins are other people's. Now this percentage will definitely change depending on how old your boards are, and certainly that's something I would go into in another video if you're interested. It's quite important to have the right number of percentage of pins when you first start, and then as you grow that number needs to change. So in the beginning you would have something like 80% pins from other people, 20% your pins, and then as that grows you slowly reverse that process. So eventually the boards become 80% of the pins are yours and 20% are your the pins you've shared from other people. So one of the interesting facts on here, so we've got activity, community, boards and pins. But if we go up to this is a business account, so this is a Pinterest business account. You can easily change your personal account into a business account. It doesn't cost you anything. And when you do that, you get some analytics. So if we take a look at the overview for analytics, you can see here this is the impressive number. So this is your impressions. So 400,000 impressions. So that means my pins, all the pins that's within my board, whether they be mine or other people's, have been seen by 400,000 people. So that can be as people are flicking through the Pinterest account, they might see one of your pins, but it might only be for a gleeting second, and then they skim past it. So obviously you want that number high, but that doesn't always necessarily mean people are going to click through to your pins or to your website. This is a total audience, so again, so that's the total number of people who have seen or engaged with your pins, whereas this one, I believe, is the number of times your pins were seen, but this is the number of times your pins were seen and engaged, so they've stopped on it, they've clicked on it, they've had a look at it. And then this is engagement. This is the total number of engagement on your pins. So that's the amount of pins that have been saved or shared or clicked through to the website. Whereas this engaged audience of 10,000 is the number of people who have clicked, seen, shared or repinned my pins. And again, that's not necessarily clicks through to my website. That's within the Pinterest account and including external clicks through to the website. Well, that's only my pins compared to this one is other people's pins as well. Then the second report I use, you can see here the chart. So this is when beginning of April. This is when my VA started. So as you can see, in one day we're getting 9,600 impressions across Pinterest. And if we look at the end of April, so she's only been working on the site for around 2 weeks, and it's doubled. Now 20,000 impressions a day. So that's really impressive within a 2-week period. And again, look, 18,000 impressions on Sunday the 3rd of May. Now, this drop off here, don't worry, that's nothing to do with the VA. She's not done anything wrong. Pinterest had a global issue where they blocked and suspended millions of accounts, and they were basically, when they shut and locked down your account, you lose all your impressions for that period of time. As you can see, it was a small glitch and it slowly came back, and we're back up to 11,000 impressions a day, and expect that to skyrocket in the next week. So like I said, the next one I look at is audience. This is a pretty accurate reflection here, and you can see where the pins are being viewed from, the categories that people are interested in. You can see here mammals account for 79% of my audience, so that's hamsters, gerbils, things like that. And then you can see the age distribution here. So younger people are on Pinterest, whereas only 5% are over 65. that makes sense. It is quite a young platform, is Pinterest. And then this is the striking difference. You can see females make up 81, almost 81% of my traffic. Now, again, I'll feature this in a future video if you want. I've got quite some strong opinions and thoughts about the type of websites and the types of niches that should go into Pinterest. So if it is something you're interested in, I certainly would consider whether your niche is suitable for Pinterest. It definitely is a female-orientated platform. And I don't want to sound sexist, or I don't want to sound bad or anything like that, but you certainly don't see many best custom hot rod cars on Pinterest. It's very, very little traffic and searches for like male orientated topics and niches. So certainly Pinterest is very popular with females, so that's really good. And you can see here the metrics. So the majority of my audience comes from the US. Pinterest is massive in the US. It is pretty big in the UK, but certainly the bulk of the traffic comes from the US. And then you can see here you have some mobile devices, so it tells you whether it's people looking on their mobiles, through desktop computers, and so on. It's not really much of an interest to me because all the pins are optimized for Pinterest, which means they're suitable for mobile and desktop. So it's not something I really worry about too much. If we change that to engaged audience, as you can see, 10,000 people approximately look to have viewed my pins. So that's my account, getting rid of other people's pins that are pinned on my boards. This is just my account. And you can see here it totals 10,000 people. So if you look through some of these, you can see there's a various kind of pins. Some stand out more than others. You get obviously the silly memes all the times. Here's one of mine. It's a very, very popular pin. You can see here it's been viewed almost 3,000 times. 10 people have pinned it to their boards. It means they like it. And 49 people have clicked through to my website, which is great. So this one pin drove me 49 organic searches straight through to my website. If we take a look for a few more, you can see this one here, this how to cure boredom in guinea pigs. This is a pin that's been created by my VA. She's found a nice little format there. You can see she puts the image at the top. Because if you look at some of the other images, let's find one that I've made that don't actually work very well. So for instance, this one here, how fast can rabbits run? It's very, very difficult, as you can see, to see the image clearly or the writing. I mean, if you're going to have a pin, you either people want to look at the image, which is primarily what people are doing on Pinterest, or they want to read what it's about. And this pin here, as you can see, it's had 1,500 views, but not one single person has pinned it and not one single person has shared it because they can't really see the image, they can't really see the writing. But yet here's one I've done, and I did this one, but this is a much better pin. As you can see, the hamster there is clearly in view. The article topic is clearly in view. And because of that, it's had 11,000 views. 10 people have pinned it to their board, so 10 people love that pin, and 6 people went through to the website. So as you can see, if it's clear and precise what this actual content is about and what this pin is all about, it will get you much more views. Let's try and find one more example. Here's a good example here of a poor one. This pin here was not created by me, but I pinned it to my board. And as you can see, it's had hardly any views, no pins, no shares, because it's really complicated. I mean, look at that pin. There's no good image of a cat, so I can't really see it. All this imagery around the corner looks around the edges looks very corporate. Looks like a techie type of pin, and you can't really understand what it's all about. So, whereas if you look at the one below, it's got a cute image, writing's easier to see, therefore it's getting pins and shares. And as you can see, some of the pins on here stand out straight away to you. There's a good one, cute picture, loads of views, loads of shares, working really well. So there you go, guys. As you can see, that's my Pinterest board. What I'll do now is I'll just quickly jump over to Google Analytics. Okay, so here we are over at my Google Analytics, and you can see here, this is narrowed down to social. So this is all the traffic that comes from my social. And as you can see, Pinterest is here with the highest at 91% of my social traffic is coming from that Pinterest board, which is 2,800 visits. Facebook bringing in 225 visits, and then YouTube and Instagram. As you can see, look at the difference between Facebook and Pinterest. And I am actually quite active within the Facebook. I have a Facebook group, Facebook page, and I do share all my latest articles and images within there. But look at the difference. I put no effort at all within Pinterest. I just pay a VA $75 and it brings in 3,000 searches a month, which is organic to my website, and I'm sure that's generating some sales. Whereas compared to Facebook, which is a lot of time and effort, I probably put half an hour a day into that and it brings 225 organic searches. It's just not worth the bother anymore. Facebook is really, back in its day, fantastic, but the minute, it's just not worth it. So there you go. As you can see, very promising start. Only a few weeks into it and we're already seeing some good organic traffic heading over to the website, which is converting into sales. So it's really promising to see. Lots of work left on it to do though. It's at the very, very early stages. Like I said, I do know some websites that are getting hundreds of thousands of organic searches a month going over there. And one good thing about Pinterest is it loves new pins. It loves new websites. Averse to Google that obviously penalizes often new websites, takes months and months for them to rank organically and get some organic traffic. With Pinterest, it's the reverse. It loves new sites, it loves new pins, and you can rank #1 in Pinterest for a search with just one really, really good pin, and that will drive thousands of customers over to your website. So really is worth investing in, and it is really something we're going to double down on in the next few months. So stick with me guys, more videos to come on this, and I'll see you in the next video.